righty. Good evening to you. Very soon, my colleague, Coach Stead, will be joining us. But for now, I am here and promise that 2010 we will start. So this is us starting. Remember that I have a line. If you recall, I gave a line where you can call in, and it will be very nice to hear from you as we tackle this very, very sensitive topic. So just in case you missed that, let me see if I can create a banner where we can have the line. Let's do that. Call in via WhatsApp. Call in via WhatsApp. WhatsApp call on. Let's give the number now, which is 0966 733 156. Awesome. Okay, so let's see if we can add that. I think we'll make it a scroll. Okay, so with this, we can now take your quotes. So just give us a second as Coach gets ready to come on the call. Here it is. So you'll be able to call, but at the moment, we'll not take calls until after we have done the introduction. Coach Stead is just getting his tech all set up. The lighting wasn't very good where he was, so he didn't show too clearly. So as you know, this is the Men's Fireside Heart to Heart Live Men Don't Cry Call-In Edition. And today we just want to do this because this is all part of our preps for the upcoming event. There's an event that's coming up very soon, and we're going to have in that event very, very powerful stuff going on. In fact, I've just remembered that I should have put the link for you to be able to follow. So from where I am, I can do that. Let me see if I can get that going. And then somewhere along the way, we're going to put the link where you can be able to become part of the event. In fact, I'll even share that on the, but you know what? Let me see if I can do that. So I'm going to put up a link just now, and you guys can be able to follow and partake. You can also, if you're interested in becoming part of the event itself, you'll be able to purchase and come through. So whilst I'm waiting for Coach Stead, let me see he's ready now. Okay, so let me add it to the call. Okay, Coach, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I thought you were going to call me on this to say, I'm ready, but you didn't call.
I've been ready and watching and waiting for you. So I thought you said I sent you a text. I sent you a text. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Text doesn't work. In this case, you have just called. There will be no pressure. So welcome, Coach Stead.
Thank you so much.
This is Coach Stead Divine, and he uses Heal nowadays. Tell me, what's the story with Heal?
It's funny how you guys like. So IK some weeks ago, IK calls me and says, "Steady, what's up? I hear you've changed your name." So now you're telling. So Hugh is practically my name because I'm a Piri. So Hugh stands for Piri. So I the divine, so I let the Hugh stay there. But Coach Steady is always good for me, so I work with that and I run with that.
True. I hear you. I'm just buying bundles. I hear. I was just saying I'm buying bundles because I just realized no one will be able to call me. Yeah. So
because that's why my message didn't go.
That's why, bro. Sorry. So Coach, let's get this baby off the ground. You know, why are we doing this event? Where is this coming from? And obviously then we'll open up the lines very soon. But like, where is this coming from? Why now?
So I think one of the key things is most of the times I think men have been left behind and neglected, and nobody wants to have conversations about men. But also the bigger picture is that I remember one of my friends. I heard this statement from one of my friends, and I've used it now. I don't even quote him anymore. My friend, the South African Reward, he made a statement one time when I was training with Focus on the Family in South Africa, and he said, "If men will change, the world will change." That
Yeah.
that that has stuck with me for many, many, many years. And the men that will change the world are not being prepared and equipped, and that's why Men's Fireside Chat is that vehicle we want to use to be able to reach out and have conversations with men in a space where they are comfortable enough, in a space where nobody will judge them, nobody will be able to say, "Hey, why would you say that? And why would you be comfortable to bring up a conversation like that?" So sometimes men shy away from bringing up conversations, but also one of the things that led to this conversation coming up was when we usually do our sleepovers, the four of
Yeah.
us. Yeah, Sanderson, Ebo Chungu, myself, and then you. And most people have been saying, "Oh, guys, we want to be part of that meeting. We want to be part of that meeting. We want to join in that meeting as well." But we always have said that's just like a close knit circle, yeah, and it's not something you can pay to join and be part of. It's something that has been built over the years. And I always tell people, and for me, that really humbles me. I always say it's not something we just said. Everyone that is in that circle, we've known each other, or one or the other person for quite a longer time. And also there's just like a strong bond. And
Yes.
yeah, and also we process things from the same. We don't always agree, but we process things from a different perspective. But also there's that mutual respect that we have for one another. So we said, hey, let's do something that opens an opportunity for other people, other men, to be able to say, okay, there's a bigger circle. You may not come in the for the 4 month circle, but you can be part of the Fireside
Yeah.
Chat for men. And it would be the starting
That's
point
right.
for you to be able to build and develop and be part of what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so for me, I think that's very good. I'm just amazed that this thing is asking me to log in and do all sorts of funny things. I really hope people will be able to to call, not 966733156, because it's giving me all these funny things. It's asking 101 items. So I hope it won't say, oh no, yakana, because that would be something else.
So is it plugged to your
Maybe we
computer?
need to get here phone. It's a phone
Also,
line
so
I
it's
don't use. Remember, it's this one. So I'm literally holding it, and I'm just logging in again because it works, but I don't know why it's asking me all these things. I guess I just haven't used this for a long time, so this is the price for not using, because I don't use this line. Oh,
okay.
okay, yeah. So it's like saying number. So it's given me these errors. But either way, we're good.
If
If
you
you
need,
have
we
an
can also
extra
use
line, you
office
could.
line if need be. If you can't, we can't have that. Sorry, we can still use my office line as well.
Okay, so no, it's behaving. Now it's behaving. I think we're getting there. I can notice my numbers are and things are coming. The stuff is
Okay,
coming,
cool.
so we're there. So meaning we'll be able to get the calls going. So what we want to do, for those of you joining us by way of call, Stead, you need to do me a favor. Do you have if you have that message which we had on WhatsApp, are you able to copy it and then paste it to the one for the event? I think I sent you the original one, and then every day I've been posting something. So if you go on my
Yes.
page, copy that and then paste it so that people are able to see how.
Rev, are you there? You're freezing.
Okay, so my internet just decided to do something silly, so it's come back on. But apologies, it just went. Yeah, I just went off. But look, if you've got a line instead that they can call right now, please share that one, because this is still doing its thing. It hasn't finished loading in all the messages and things. And or try and call me and see if it works. Or let me try and call you. I don't know if to show your number here. So let me see if it will work. Just want to see if it will work. I'll be able to call you so that people can start calling in and we can really start taking all the issues that people want to share. So I'm a bit stuck here. So let's give another number, I think. Hold on, let me just see if this will work. But so far it's stuck. So let's see. Steady. Just a minute.
Okay, I've done. You're giving me too many assignments out to go. So I've done the first one. I've posted the so it's in the comment section, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I've posted that.
Yeah. Great. So let me try and call you and see if it rings. Which one? Yeah, can you not?
The same number. Maybe I try to call you.
Yeah, try and call me and see if it works. We're going through technical challenges. Forgive us, guys. Oh, there you are. A call is coming in. Okay, I can see the call. So it means it's working. I'm just wondering why I'm not hearing.
But it's just saying calling, so it's not ringing.
Oh, it's not ringing. Aye. But it's shown me here you're trying to call. So which means people are probably stuck us.
Yeah.
Wow, this sucks. This is what happens when you don't do a test run. Oh my god. But it's fun. It's okay. We're not panicking. Okay, so I think I'm going to change and oh no, but this one the problem is it's going to ring everywhere, including here. That's what I didn't want. So let's just try
It's going to interrupt the thing.
Yes, exactly. So I
tech stuff. That's the thing about live stuff. So you always have to have a bit of some.
we do this normally. It's just normal mistakes, but today, the enemy is at work. I have to be a Pentecostal here, so the enemy is at work. You really don't know who would be helped. Okay, let me try again. Let me try and call you and see. Thanks, guys, for being part of us. We're just trying to get the tech sorted out. Bear with us, please. Okay, instead, it's refused to call on this end.
It's still not coming through?
No. I think let me change the number. But then even if I change the number, it might still not work. Let me just change first. And then we give a new number. Oh. Yeah. Yo.
Technology.
No, I was on the wrong account.
Oh my Jesus.
Oh, the struggle. Okay. So we've now switched. Let's see if this works. Okay. Where are you, Stead? I can't even see you.
I'm here. Funny enough,
We're,
I
lo-
went to get I went to
we're-
get a new light because the one I was using just switched off.
oh, I see. We're losing our online audience. They're like, what are these chaps up to? Hello. Okay, this one has worked, and I think it's gotten to you. So let me try and call. Okay, for whatever reason, it's just refusing to do the voice call. So you try and call me and see. Have you seen my hello?
Yes, I have.
Okay, try and call me and see if it works. There we are. Good.
It's
Let's
ringing.
try and answer. Hello.
What's up, Rev?
Good, good, good. Okay, guys, tech is up and running. Sorry for taking forever. Please feel free to call in and let's have a conversation around why men don't cry and whether we should, and what really men are going through, and how this whole process is obviously a challenge for us as men. So, looking forward to hear from you. Feel free to call on the line that's scrolling at the bottom there. That's the line you can get us on. It is working. We just verified. It took us forever to do that. Apologies. But hey, here we are. So let's make this happen. So feel free to call in and let's make it happen. And let's go through this conversation. Meantime, where's my line? Where's my line? I want to get on the business call so that I can paste the event banner. I think I've remembered where it is now. So let me go there and then get it up. Right. So feel free to call and let's have a conversation. Now, Stead, you can obviously start things rolling by speaking into the conversation and just highlight some issues.
Yeah. So I think when we have a conversation about men shouldn't cry, I think most of the times is that people always feel like to be a man you just need to be tough and strong, and it also talks about the weight that every man carries. So if you're a man, and I'm talking about a real man, an authentic man, it means you will go through pressure, you'll go through battles, you'll go through challenges, and unfortunately the world doesn't allow you to feel what you're going through, so every time they let us say, oh, if you're a real man you don't have to cry, if you're a real man you have to suck it in. So men are not allowed to be human. Just because I'm a man doesn't mean I'm not human. If I go through what everybody else goes through, I'm allowed to feel the pressure. I'm allowed to feel the pain. I'm allowed to feel the frustration that comes with being a man. So every man carries a lot of heavy loads. They have to provide. They have to look out for everybody else. You have to be all out there to make things happen for people, and there's nobody out there making things happen for you. As much as you carry all that heavy stuff as a man, you still are not allowed to be a man. You still are not allowed to come out and say, I am feeling what I am feeling. I am feeling frustrated. I remember, I think a couple of weeks to just go to a place where I kind of feel like I feel tired. I was depleted, like my tank was on E, fully depleted, and in a moment like that, I had to allow myself to feel what I was feeling. I had to allow myself to feel what I was feeling without the pressure of trying to just be tough, the pressure of just being, I'm going to be a man. No matter what's going through, no matter what's happening around me, I'm just going to be a man. I will just but I allowed myself to feel what I was feeling. I allowed myself to go through that moment. I allowed myself to take a rest, even when I don't feel like I need the rest, and that's a pressure, because you feel like you can't take a break, because you have to be the one. You have to be the starring of the show. You have to make things happen.
But the question instead is why? Why do we have to?
Because when we were growing up, they told us, "Uma umetalila," ule kosa uli mwaume, but you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, what will your sisters think of you? What will the girls think of you? So we grew up in that dysfunctional element, because we were trained to perform,
But then,
to
said, aren't you one of those who says, just like I do,
yeah.
that if we're too emotional, then there's an element of being a bit of a snowflake? So how does one balance between that and uma umetalila and let yourself cry and all these things? How do you
Yeah.
balance that?
And I think that's a good question. I always give an example of Jesus. I always say God has got two sides. God has got two sides. Is the Lamb of God. He's also the Lion of the tribe of Judah. So he's
Mhm.
the Lamb on the other side, but he also rose on the other side. And I think that's a balance. You can't just be a yes ma'am, yes sir kind of a person. You really need to make sure you strike that balance. You need to get to a place where you have a full understanding of who you are as a man and the balance you bring to the table, and also look out for people that want the sissy version of you. Look out for men and women who always want the soft side of you, that don't want you to balance. And I feel like as a man, it's your personal responsibility to be able to balance that. Nobody else can. You teach people how to treat you. You teach people how to respect you as a man. So don't let people tell you, oh, you can't have a soft side. You can't have a moment where you just want to be easy. You can't allow people to do that to you as a man. You really need to be radical enough to say, look, if you want me as a man, you're gonna have both of my sides. You have the lion side of me, you also have the lamb side of me. And you can't force me. And I think that's where the problem is. When you take each one of these things to the extreme, that's when it becomes a problem. When it becomes
Yes.
extreme, like you are a sissy, you are a weakling, they just stay over you anyhow. They just tell you what to do, and the moment you roll, they will tell you, I thought you were a nice guy. Yes, I don't care, I'm a nice guy, but I'm a great guy, but you will not mess with me, you will not run game on me. So you need to be the man that watches over the balance of those two critical things about who you are as a man. You can't allow people just to play with you. You can't just allow people to manipulate you. And I'm telling you, we live in the most manipulative world when it comes to men.
Yep.
Everybody wants to
Absolutely.
manipulate a man, and every time, especially when the other gender meets a man that is very assertive and focused, they start branding you, they start calling you names, because they want to shame you. They want to shame you. So they want to shame you into giving into their manipulation. So you as a man, you have to be in a place where you understand, I can cry, I can feel what I'm feeling, and there's no shame. I can feel what I can well. It's all right. you know
Mm,
uh it's
mm.
it's okay. I am fine to do that. You will not even make me feel ashamed, to show this side of me. You will not even make me ashamed. I'm proud and I'm happy to feel. I'm the same guy that will stand up and be bold and strong as well, and I will not also be ashamed. So there's no need for men to really feel a certain way when they feel their emotions, because you're simply human. Even Jesus wept.
Yes, he did. Now, but then where do you draw the line between being expressive and being
Mhm.
strong? Because when you're a leader, you have to exude
Yeah,
a certain level of strength, which
yeah.
for a man is expected almost. Because if you don't do that, that's very problematic. How do you draw that line? And by the way, let's let people know you can call in now. The line is up and ready. So feel free to call in anytime. Please go on, Stead.
Yeah. So I think it's also good to know that Superman, who's this leader, is also human. And I feel like we need,
Mhm.
as we going to conquer, as we go in. And I understand you can't be telling your family. I mean, I see it for me, there's certain things I don't come back and tell everyone because I'm a leader. I'm expected to really run stuff and make things happen. It's not everything, every little tiny thing that I'm coming back home and reporting and say, hey, this is what's happening. And that's the thing about being a leader and being a man as well, is that some battles you have to fight them alone, you know. And sometimes you can come back to your wife, you can come back to your family and say, hey, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm dealing with. It's still okay to be able to face those things, but also you have to teach people to say, even if as I'm leading you, I still go through stuff. Even if I saw a pastor some couple of weeks ago who stood in the pulpit and said, guys, I'm tired, we're gonna lose this church, we are owing, we are in debt, you know, and I'm tired. I've been fighting and I'm tired. You just gotta know that I'm also tired. I'm depleted. I am worn out. I am trying to hold this whole thing together for everybody else. But guys, I have no more capacity. This thing is just falling and breaking right in
Really?
front. Yeah. Well, well,
Whoa,
not
a pastor say that. That's a
yes.
pastor. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm amazed.
So
Because you see, one of the greatest things that happens, Ted, I'll tell you, is
yeah.
that for a lot of people, pastors inclusive, there's a situation where a lot of people are not true.
Yes. Rev, are you there? Rev, are you there? I think Rev just went out, and please let me know if you're able to hear us. Let me know, and I think I'll pick it up as well on leadership as well, and then also showing your vulnerable side as a man. When you are leading, when you are adding value to society, you also have to understand that there's certain things that are out of your control. You can do what is humanly possible. You can do what is manly possible. There's certain things that are going to be out of your control. And when things are out of your control, don't be ashamed to be able to say, I may not be able to meet these expectations. I may not be able to, do and deliver the things that I'm supposed to deliver. So when things are out of your control, be comfortable enough to be able to say, I will do what is manly possible on my end. I will do what is humanly possible. But what is beyond me, as I lead you, as I show you the way, like I gave an example of that pastor, as I show you the way, as I lead you, I'm not God. I'm just a man as well. I am
Mhm.
following after him. So there's only so much that I practically can do to be able to stay strong and fix the things that I'm supposed to fix. So it's been comfortable enough. Yeah. And the people that love you will definitely accept you and support you.
Yeah.
And that's when you
And I
know
think
who's right for you.
and I
Yeah.
feel that on that one we have to be very real about it so that people know and understand. But the fact that that pastor could stand up and say what you're saying, he said, for me was
Yeah.
very brave of him. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, our line is still open 0967333156. So if you're able to call us through and just speak what you feel you want to speak about. We will be sharing the link at the end of this thing because I can't see where to get it from, especially with what I'm doing right now. But we'll be able to share the link where you can actually, go and check out the event which will be taking place at the end of this of the other week. Ish. Okay, with all the drama going on, we're doing it on the 28th. We're not stopping.
Exactly
I
my
mean,
point. Exactly my point. We're not stopping. We're just going on. We have no time to really stop, guys. I mean,
so
we, we,
so
we,
you
we-
can
we're not.
call us on the line and come through. And by the way, I guess maybe, I don't know if it's because it's a WhatsApp line. So let me also give you a normal line. The normal line is, let me put it there. So normal line, so just in case you can't get through on this one, in case people don't have data bundles, which is awkward because you're watching. But anyway, maybe you have one handset, so you can't do both. 0967822655. So this is a live call. No live, normal call. Yeah, normal call. Call normal line on that. Okay. So we should be good. All right. So both are appearing now, hopefully, and people can call. So in case you can't call on the WhatsApp line for whatever reason, you can also call on that one. And let's hear from you. I hope we can hear from one or two of you before we call it an evening. But this is really just getting us off the ground. We should obviously pick up more interesting topics as we go. But at the day, we can't say much here because the whole idea is to be able to meet as men and speak freely. So let's give it another 3 to 5 minutes. If nobody's able to come through on these, then we call it an evening. We've already been here. We've spent forever on the tech. That was sucked. We're gonna have another one where we'll be much more coordinated and things will be better. But you can see my internet is now behaving nicely. I'm happy. And the phone is behaving. so anybody who's able to call, please feel free to call on those two lines. Meantime, at the end of this, we're going to post the link for the men's event where you can be able to register if you're watching this. So on that note, maybe instead let's do our wind-ups because I'm seeing that we still aren't really getting anybody calling in. So let's do our wind-ups and then we can call it an evening. We'll have a second one where we'll go into much more detailed and a much more structured conversation. We were hoping to take advantage of you guys calling so that we tackle that instead of us talking. But nonetheless, your remarks encouraging people for the event, and then of course what we will be discussing further.
So I think for me, it's I'm really excited because I feel this is an opportunity just for men just to connect and really have a conversation, and you don't have an excuse why you can't make it. If really your goal as a man is to build healthy relationships with other men, this is an opportunity. I always tell people most of the times we want relationships when we need them. We don't build them for that season.
Yes.
So right now you feel like, oh, I'm good, I'm balling. But when you're down, that's when you're going to talk to strangers. Be intentional about building relationships with other men, connect with other men. It's an investment. It's an investment for your future. It's an investment for, there's so many things that you're planning to build. You don't know who you network with. You don't know who you connect with.
Let's see. We've got a call coming in. Let's see. I know the caller. Let's see if he's watching. Evening, Sam. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you today?
Very, very good. Now, Ted, can you hear that?
Very clear.
Yes.
Okay, good. So are you calling in relation to our live call, or it's you just calling me because...
No, I'm calling you actually because of our live call.
Nice.
Good evening, Coach.
Good evening.
Coach,
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And how are you today?
Great.
Please go ahead, Sam.
Just a quick one. I wanted to ask in relation to the topic. I think the reason may be just something like to add on. I think the other reason why I ask men sometimes I think we don't cry is because also with the role that we play as men, because identity has been wrapped up in our roles. Though also I would want also to pose a question. If Rev or Coach Steady, if you say, for example, the topic that you said, why men don't cry. If I were to put it in a way that, for example, if we were to take out our roles as men, maybe, for example, we say we are protectors, we are providing and stuff like that, and we are at any point trying to show emotion, would there be any authority seen amongst the people that we are trying to read?
Do you want to start with that, or me? I jump in.
You can jump in with that.
Okay, so as you know very well, Sam, we've we've had this conversation on other platforms, but for me, I think personally, I think we have to be very careful how much we let out, and the reason is because men are seen as pillars of strength. Men are seen as protectors, providers. We're seen as leaders, and one of the archetypes of a leader or a protector is that you must provide leadership. So many times when things go south, when things are bad, they are looking to the man. So this is one of the jokes I always say, Stead. Imagine going home, sitting with the kids in the evening, calling the wife and everybody, you sit on like a round table, and then you now start off like this. This is your explanation. You say, I've been fired, guys. I don't know how we're going to sort things out. I mean, well, it's good you're expressing yourself, but how do you think some people are going to treat that situation? We are dead. We are dead. So what I've discovered is we need to find a safe space if we need to cry, whether by ourselves or with someone. But when you go before your people, you can't do that. You know, for example, women are very expressive, isn't it, Sam and Coach?
Yeah.
But have you noticed? Have you noticed that CEO types will never break down in the boardroom? Never. Because the moment they do that, and they will be pushed so that they break down, so that they say, you see, that's what happens when you get women to run the company, you see? So they know they can't do that. So they have to bring out a masculine component of their personality and not break down in that environment, so that they keep a certain exterior for the sake of, exuding strength. And then when you're away from that, maybe you can be more vulnerable. What do you think, Coach? Do you agree with that?
I think what like I said, I think when I mentioned that, I think the extreme is what becomes a problem. I think when you were talking, I'm reminded of the scripture that usually is connected. I think 1 Thessalonians chapter 4:13. It talks of brothers and sisters. We do not want you to be uninformed about those who sleep in death, so that you do not grieve like the rest of mankind who have no hope. So the Bible doesn't say you can't, that you can't show it, but you can't grieve like those that don't have hope. It means you will feel your emotions. There will be sin on you. I can be weeping inside, but I don't have to look like I do not have hope. And that also applies when you come to your family, your children. You may say, I feel the Lord, I feel the challenge, and you can feel the impact, but I am not coming here like we do not have hope. I'm simply saying this is where we are. So like what you explained, where you go and cry, now you roll in sand because you are you're in that space. So I think feel what you feel the emotions and connect with those emotions, but it's not at the place of saying there's no hope for us. Even if we are here right now, I know we'll be able to overcome and be able to get out of this place. So, and that's also the beauty of what we're saying. These conversations are key because you have to qualify them. You have to put them in the space where it's supposed to be, especially for whatever we're doing. So you have to be the one that makes sure you balance and regulate your emotions, even as you go through what you're going through as a man, So I like to say I have my emotions and I feel my feelings, but I don't get out of control when I'm in that state. So you have to be the one that manage that.
Have you seen what so Cobra Chafwa says? Men cry, but not in the presence of women and kids. We cry silently now. Sometimes even drop a tear or two. Then we are good to accept reality and move on. Do you think this attitude is the reason suicide rates are very high with men?
Which ones?
This what this man has just said, that you cry quietly and all that stuff. Do you think that's the reason we have a high rate of suicides with men?
I think in a not I mean, like, I think he put a balance on what he said. It wasn't just like you can't cry. If you tell a man you can't cry, it means that you've closed out all the outlets that he can bring out. So I think, looking at the comment that Cobra has put across, he's put it in perspective, you know, and he's put a balance to that. He's simply saying you can't cry. It's simply saying you just have to manage how you are dealing with your emotions, how you are working with your emotions. But also, you also have to be on the lookout as a man to be among, especially if you've got a woman in your life who doesn't allow you to cry and feel what you're feeling, because that becomes a problem, because now you always have to perform for her. Every time you show up, you have to perform for her, because she doesn't allow you to be a man. She doesn't allow you to feel your feelings. And trust me, if me feeling my emotions, shedding some tears and crying really makes me weak, I want to be weak. I really want to be that weak man, because I am not looking for validation. You know, I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die because of you. My name is not Jesus. I'm not Messiah. My name is Steady. So
ironically, I was going to say, ironically, we had a very strong president, but he used to be very comfortable with being emotional, and that was Kaunda. So Kaunda, on many occasions, cried publicly. We all remember that he and it actually
even President Chiluba as well.
Oh yes, I remember. Yes, he did on one or two occasions. Very powerful. Now, Sam, does that answer your question well?
Yeah, you are definitely touching there. Though the only thing that is also remaining is, now, if we say we need to balance up coach and Rev, now how do we cry? Because if we say there has to be that component of me that has to be strong, and at the same time there has to be a component of me that has to be, how is it different from somebody who says, for example, like the same that gentleman, the one who just gave a comment here, where we just we audit inside and just and then now how do we cry? That I think that would be my question. How do we cry then?
Yes, Ted, how do you cry?
Sam, it doesn't have to be a politician stage kind of cry.
Yeah, man, it's rough. It's rough.
Because you see, even now that I'm laughing and I'm happy, I'm shedding tears. So I feel I really don't know whether I really don't know whether you could prepare. So for me, what I would say is you have to let your heart be open. You may never know when your tears are coming out. And this is when you know when it's real, when you are feeling it, when it's staged, and when you know it's coming from your heart. And I can think of so many. I've been in a place where you are praying for someone and you can feel them, and tears just start coming down.
Yes. For me, I'm very open in worship church setup, because for me, I feel I'm there for serious business. I know my brother, you have your own thing, but okay. So another call is coming. Let's take this. So Sam, all the best. We're taking this other call.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
I'll just come.
Okay. Hello.
Hey Rev, how are you?
Do good, good, good. Who are we speaking to?
You're speaking to Namaunga.
Namaunga. Please go ahead with your, contribution, question, whatever.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think it's more of a contribution.
Please go ahead.
Good evening, Coach.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. My first contribution is I think it's very paramount for the question that was asked. Say, how are we supposed to cry? I think it's very important that we keep in mind as men, as much as Paul writes to us in Ephesians, that the table of the hierarchy of the family is Christ. Then after Christ, then there is a man, then then the woman, and then the children. So the family, the woman and the children will cry to the mother. The mother will cry to the husband, and then the husband will cry to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we develop that nature as men of finding time in solitude with Christ and crying on his knees, I think that would really be of help. I can share a lot about my personal experience with that, but I think that has really helped me a lot. And I think if we were to recognize that as men and know that we cannot cry in front of our wives, we cannot cry in front of our children, but we can cry in front of Christ. And when I mean crying, Rev, I mean, crying physically, letting it out, just like you are mentioning the politicians, but finding a solitude time with Christ and just letting it out. Because even scientifically, it's shown that when you are stressed and then you cry, there are hormones that are released, which kind of eases the mind and the body. Yeah. So the physical crying and shedding of a tear, it has to be part of us in order for us to not to land into depression or anxiety and probably the worst scenario is even thinking of committing suicide. And then the other contribution that I wanted to give is, I think if we were to tell men to start crying and showing off emotions, this is my own perspective, and I would want to hear from what you have and what everyone else who's following has. If we were to allow men to start crying and showing their emotions, I feel it's going to change the balance of how family is supposed to run and generally even how a man is supposed to be. Because we're going to develop, I feel we're going to develop weaker men who are going to be more prone to suicide. I say this in the aspect that mostly when a man is, or anyone, even women, mostly when they are mostly led by their emotions and they let their emotions come out more frequently, they tend to make their decisions out of their emotions.
That's right.
I believe, Rev, you know about the frontal lobe and the limbic system and how these aid in helping us making decisions.
That's
so
right.
What you focus much on, if you focus much on the limbic system, which focuses on the emotions, then you're going to be making your decisions which are emotional and which is very dangerous.
Extremely.
And when you focus on the frontal lobe, I feel it's going to be more of a sound mind for us men, and it's going to help us to be better men. Thank you.
Brilliantly put, Nama. In fact, for me, I totally agree with that. We need to learn how to manage our emotions. Of course, the subconscious mind, which is your limbic system, operates from a criteria which is managed by what is called the reticular activating system, which is like your personal secretary in the head. But what you raise is so critical. That's why it's so important for those of us who are in that space to learn how to control our emotions. And the Bible tells us powerfully that he did not give us a spirit of love, of fear, but of love, of power, and of a sound mind. So soundness of mind is what you speak of. So even though we may be emotional. I love your first point, because for me, I do that all the time. I consider myself a worshiper, so I'm big on letting out my emotions in the presence of the Lord when I do my devotions, when I do my prayers. And sometimes, especially now where we are there at Grace City, one of the things I've loved about that particular church at the moment is how much they have given leeway for people to become expressive during worship. That's very helpful, because you see, some people may not
Can
be
I
able
ask
to
you
cry.
guys a question?
Yeah.
So, if your family and your children will see you cry in worship, why can't they see you cry in your house?
No, not that they can't see you cry, but like you rightly put
Yeah,
it, we
because
don't weep like people.
I think Mwambazi mentioned that if our children see us crying and weeping, then then we'll be raising weaker men. So
Okay, no, I hear that.
if I'm the same man who's crying in worship, what's wrong with me crying in my house?
Context. For me, it's the context. So my argument for this context. But Nama, let's hear from you. What's wrong with you crying in your house if you can cry in the presence of the Lord?
All right. Thank you so much. I think just like Hahad earlier on put it, I think context is very important. When I mean crying in the presence of the Lord, when you cry in the presence of the Lord in front of your family, for example, maybe you're having a devotion as a family. You get it, and coach. You're having a devotion as a family, and then in your prayers you break down. Me as a child is going to look up to my father and say, my father only cries when he is praying. So they are going to know that the substance upon which I have to express my feelings ultimately is underwater. And I think if we were to put it in that context, it would really help us.
Now let me give you. I know you and Rev on the same side, but my perspective is different. So let me give you my perspective. When I am, you brought in two things. You brought in emotions and decisions. When I'm expressing myself, I am just releasing what's inside me. I'm not making decisions out of my emotions. So I'll give an example. There's certain people, when they get upset and they get frustrated, especially women, they go and pull off they go and make very, costly decisions that they will live to pay for the rest of their lives. So when I'm coming to speak to my wife and having a conversation to say, this is what I'm going through, I am not speaking because I am going to make decisions. I'm letting you know, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what I feel in my system. And so it's not an issue of going to make decisions, wrong decisions. It's I am frustrated. I am depleted. Just like you get tired. And I gave you a practical example. Like I was worn out because I was dealing with a number of things at the same time. I was very depleted, and my system was so depleted. I didn't even know how I shut down and I went to sleep. Just like you get tired, it's the same when you feel your emotions, when you feel, your system's running, when you feel frustrated, when you feel things, it's not that you're going to make the decisions that are costly. Now, that's another conversation. It's the same. Just because I'm upset, I'll give you a practical example. I always tell people, you can insult me from morning until evening. I will never insult you back. You will never insult me enough for me to lose it, because I'm a type of a man who doesn't believe I have to disrespect you for me to win a battle. So emotional intelligence is very key when we're talking about this. There's emotional intelligence and then also an expression of your emotions and how you feel. It's not going to push you to a space where you are going to make rash decisions. You will feel what you are feeling. And in fact, the more you cry, the more you vent, the more you let it down, the more you see clear, the more you see better. So it's a balance. It's a balance that men need when you're dealing with these things. And that's why you also need a supportive partner who they can see you in that space. And because for me, I don't even want a woman who sees me cry and they're offended by my tears. You're not the type of woman I want to be with. You are practically not even a good catch in that space.
But you see now, coach, on that one, and that's a good conversation right there. For me, again, I don't know. But Nama, you come in and give your perspective. Sorry, we're eating your airtime, but that was the whole idea behind this opening these lines. So here's my take, coach. What I've realized is that when you're leading people, there are different levels of people. There is, there's the saying we have in management: praises go down, complaints go up. I don't know whether you're familiar with that terminology, Nama, but praises go down, yes. Complaints go up. So if you've got nothing nice to say, don't tell the people down under you, the people who you're in charge of, the people that are looking up to you. Just do not talk about it, because you being the leader, they expect you to have solutions. So if you come and then complain downwards, what you do is you demoralize. One of my favorite examples, I'm a movie guy, so I always like going into movies, and sorry for that. In Lord of the Rings, I can't remember which particular one. I think it's part 2, the 2 Towers, I think, or part 3, Return of the King. I can't remember where. But there's this case where they're in Gondor. And in Gondor, I think it's part 2. In Gondor, they have this prefect. He was a prefect in charge. And the prefect is so depressed because he thinks his son is dead. And then the hordes of darkness are coming to march on that place. And there's Gandalf and Legolas and all the key characters we know from Lord of the Rings. And they now need to make this massive battle. If you remember the movie, the armies are literally like a sea of people. And it's so fearful because they say, my God, once these guys come in here, we're dead. So now when Gandalf are looking to this man, the prefect, the leader, and the man is supposed to now give an order to march and go out. I mean, they've already prepped everybody. Everybody's ready. They are waiting for this leader to call out and, and do his thing. And you know what he does? The fear just got him. So he says, this is his order now. We are going to die. We are going to die. Run for your lives, I say. And then Gandalf and all these guys are looking at this guy like, what? So what did Gandalf do? He just knocks the guy out cold. And then he turns to the people who are shocked and tells them, march on, where are you? And they does the battle cry and they go to fight. You see where I'm going with that one now? So you realize that the prefect was expressing himself because he was genuinely afraid. But that order was not supposed to come from a leader. You see where I'm going? So on that same note, instead, that's what we're saying. We're saying, even with the wives, I don't know. I've not tried it, so I can't know. My wife has seen me. My wife has seen me break down, in church and in worship, when we worship together, when we watch movies. So my wife always laughs. You are very emotional. You cry easily. True, I do. But I have never, I'll tell you, Nama, I'll tell you, Coach, I have never cried in front of my wife to say, yeah, things are rough. I'm done. I don't even know how to pray. No. Because I learned that you never complain downwards. You complain upwards. So if there's somebody you can go to, a mentor, a leader, a guide, or ultimately Jesus himself, you're better off complaining that way. You get it, huh? But when you come to this, you need to be different. That's my take, Coach.
I think Rev, you've put it rightly the way I was putting it. Like I said, there is a hierarchy in our society and in our families. There is the children, there is a wife. Then you cannot complain to someone who's under you. No. Yeah. That is my take. You cannot complain to someone who is under you, especially looking at the fact that when you're making decisions in that home, that person is constantly involved. And that's why I brought in the aspect of decision making. Now, let me just try to put some clarity to Coach. When I brought in the issue of decision making, what I meant was, when you are constant, when every time you have a problem or every time you feel emotional and you go to your wife and express, you're going to create a system that is going to put you in a position that you are going to be expressing yourselves. And what happens now at a point when you have to express yourself, and at the same time you have to make a very critical decision. So if in that situation you always complain and you always express yourself to your wife, most of the times you're going to make a decision that is very irrational, that is coming from your emotional side, and which is very dangerous. It can be a good decision, but most of the times decisions that are made from emotions are proven to be fatal. So that is where I was reading. I was trying to say creating system may make you start making decisions out of your limbic system. That is what I meant. But truth of the matter is, I feel like if we are to complain, or if we as men are supposed to cry to the people that are under us, I feel it's going to shift a lot of balance in our lives.
Let me tell you something, gentlemen. You're missing the point.
we are listening. We are listening.
Gentlemen, you're missing the point. So again, you've moved from decision, you've gone to complaint. And when we started the show, I made a statement and I said, when a man is crying, it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of being human. Let's put that into perspective. When a man is crying, it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of being human. Secondly, crying is not an emotional response. Crying is a natural emotional response. It's not a flaw in masculinity. And in as much as your children and your wife are expecting a lot from you, they have to be reminded that you're also human. In fact, when I see a leader show their emotions, they give me an opportunity to be human. I don't want to be under a leader who doesn't show their emotions, because you are simply telling me you live from a different planet. And that's why I also say about mentorship. When you have a mentor, I don't want a mentor that is perfect. I want a mentor who's going through life, because when you're not going through life, you become very judgmental, because you somehow don't look like you have struggles. We are not discussing decision making. We are not discussing complaint. We are having a conversation of allowing men to feel what they're supposed to feel, allowing men to express their emotions, allowing men to, I feel overwhelmed, I feel tired, I feel depleted.
Okay, so on that note,
let me finish the point. I feel tired, I feel depleted, and this is a sign that I am human. Now, let me take it to the next level. When you talk about complaining, nobody likes somebody who's complaining 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between feeling your emotion and expressing your emotions, and then also being a crybaby who's always complaining like a kid in a little toy shop. There's a difference. There's a difference about you always saying, oh, so what are we going to do? The role of a man is go in the cave and conquer and come out. That's it. It's okay to say, guys, we are in a difficult space of our lives, but we'll still overcome. So Dr. John C. Maxwell says leaders are dealers of hope.
Yep.
So when you're a leader, when you're a man, you're a dealer of hope. I am not going to show up and say, God, I don't know how we're going to survive. My language is, whatever we are going through, we're going to pull through. Now, just because I come out with words of hope, it doesn't mean I'm not allowed to come and say, I am tired and I am depleted, but we'll still go again and fight. So the complaints is a different thing. This thing, even when you, I'll give an example. Even when a man meets a woman who's always complaining, it's a turn off.
Yeah, it's draining.
If you meet a partner who's always nagging, like you never see anything positive about life. Who wants a person like that in their space? I don't even want you in my. You are draining me. You are depleting. I remember one time a chick asking me, "Oh, so am I draining?" And that's why I'm quiet. Because, like, look, I am depleted. I'm depleted. I'm depleted. So, it's a life that you have to build. So, who wants a man who's always complaining 24/7? So, feeling your emotions and complaining 24/7, they are two different things. Okay, so that's my take. We gotta go. Rev, time is up.
Yeah, it is. I was just going to say, good point, coach. And that's why we're having these conversations. I like always where we have these different views. But before Nama goes, before I get your comment, I just wanted to throw in the what I call the Sean Tembo angle.
Don't go there. Don't go there. You get in trouble.
No, we're commenting on something in the public domain. You see, there's a difference with how Sean Tembo cried and how Given Luvinda cried. One had no hope whatsoever. It was terrible. The other one was a composed cry. And I mean, sorry to use that. But you see, the difference is that, you know, when you listened to Valuvinda speaking, he still, you know, carried an air of authority and leadership. Wouldn't you agree, Nama? Whereas with Ashon Tembo, that cry was quite heavy.
We don't want to comment about those things. You get us in trouble.
I agree. But my point is that even when you cry, give hope. Like I mean, if you listened to Chiluba when he was crying about the footballers, you remember that prayer? It was very powerful. He broke down. People cried in the stadium because he broke down. But even in the breaking down, you heard the leader. You know what I mean? You heard the leader. One, he admitted he's a human like this.
That's the point. I love what you said. So even in your house, when you are crying, they still should feel, see, and know we still have a leader.
That's right. Nama, your closing points as we wrap this thing up.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just wanted to quickly give a comment on what you've just said, to say even in our breaking down, we have to break down as leaders. And breaking down as leaders, no wonder, for me, I'll still stand by what I said. When you're breaking down as a leader, you have to show people where you are anchoring your breaking down on. That is your hope. So if you're a man and you have a challenge and you know it's beyond your control, you have to break down on the feet of Jesus. And the people around you have to see that you're not breaking down out of a hopelessness, but you're breaking down because you know that there is someone who is above you who can do what you have failed to do. And that is echoed in almost all the leaders that we have just mentioned. We'll give I'll get the same example of Chiluba. He broke down whilst praying, you know, and it showed to the people to say he's breaking down because the death that has happened, he can't do anything, but he has put the problem in the hand of someone who is able to do who's going to bring comfort to the people more than he can, you know.
Yeah.
And that is how I feel that as men we are supposed to cry. And not to really, make it so hopeless. If you don't have a relationship with Christ, I think it's not right to complain. It's not right to, because you'll be crying and you'll be complaining based on helplessness, because you don't know where you are going to take the problem to. Thank you.
Coach, your wrap up.
I think for me, my bigger wrap up is I'm looking forward to seeing old men, and I think that's where we can have deeper conversations and go into the toughest conversation. So if you've not registered for the Men's Fireside heart-to-heart chat, look, you got to make sure you register. I'm looking forward to connecting and be very intentional about building the relationships, because I always tell people sometimes you'd want to jump into the circle when it's too late. This is a time to jump into the circle when we are here, so that in future you don't say we are ignoring you. No, you had an opportunity, but you missed it. It's the same with the story of Mark Zuckerberg about Facebook. He invited friends. Some people didn't show up. Today, some of us are billionaires and millionaires today. Always show up when there's an opportunity to show up. Connect with the men, connect with the right people, and build and develop yourself. So that's what I would be able to say on that. And when you invest in yourself, when you become a better man, there's a lot that really happens, and there's a lot that we work around. So keep showing up and keep doing what you're supposed to do. So I am definitely looking forward to connecting with you guys. That's all.
Awesome. Well, that's it. That's Coach Ted right there. One of us, one of the kings. We've got the other two who are not here, but they're here. And on the day, our format will be very freestyle, will flow like the way we're doing on the phone, but in person. So it's not like us are the ones talking. Yes, we'll do it as the Lozis say, pilambula, which is like a preamble. But we will not be there forever and preach down and, just no. We want a totally open flow there where people can speak with the mic and we just talk real stuff. That's what we want. And we felt that way because when we do our sessions, man, what time do we sleep, Coach, on those sessions of ours?
03:04.
Imagine, and people are sleepy, but the stuff is so deep. Because you're talking real issues, and in our circle, people are going through stuff. So it's a really good place to talk real. And I really hope and pray we can replicate that same spirit on that day. I pray we can get that same feel. You know what I mean? Instead, so we're not there preaching at you or instructing you or no. We'll just give our view, but kind of open it up. All the topics you can think of that are a real pain in homes, we're going to talk about them. And we know that we have friends going through issues, people going through hell, whatever it is. Let's talk. Let's meet. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. All righty. So on that note, guys, have a great one. We'll catch you again. We'll have another one very soon, probably on, I don't know what day. We'll talk with Ted and decide. But very soon, maybe Saturday or Friday or whatever. We'll work it out. On this note, guys, have a great one. God bless you guys.